Works. 안녕하세요. 저는 아밋입니다. 저는 인도에서 왔습니다. So, hello everyone. So, if anyone is watching on the YouTube, I'm Amit and I'm from India. And it's my first time in Seoul and PyCon APAC. Today is 13th August, Saturday, 2016. So, I'm SymPy developer, Pythonista of course, because that's why I'm here, and mathematics and computing undergrad, and a FOSS enthusiast. So, I'll be talking about MRO today. So, I'll be demystifying what is MRO and how it works. So, how it has been working in Python 2 and how it is working in Python 3, and what's the difference between old and new MRO. So, first of all, let's see what MRO is. So, it's basically a class search path used by Python to search for the right method to use in classes having multi-inheritance. So, a quick survey, how many of you have written a class in Python? Okay, so let me describe the problem. What's the problem first of all? So we have classes A, B, and C, and we have a method defined as whoami in A, and a similar method in B, and C doesn't have that method. So when we have defined class C, it is inheriting from A and B. So technically C is the child of A and B, and A and B is of course the parent of C. So now we're creating an object of C, and we are using the dot operator to get a method of C. So we are calling whoami, all right? So what do you think whoami will print? So we have two methods here, one in A and one in B, and C inherits from both. So this is the problem actually. So we need a consistent algorithm to know how does it works and how we can get a consistent method resolution. So because we need to resolve the method because there are two methods of whoami and we're calling it. So we somewhere need an algorithm. So that's why that algorithm is called as MRO. So that is what method resolution order is. So there are a couple of solutions. There are a couple of solutions for this, and one of them is old MRO, and other is new MRO. So Python has thing called as old classes and new classes. So old classes are. Let me show you what it is. So this is how old classes look like, and you can see there's no bracket required in old classes, and I mean there's no object required in the brackets in old classes, and in new classes you write this object thing. So in old classes it inherits from the object Python root object class, and it uses old MRO algorithm. I'll explain what is old MRO in a while. And in new classes it inherits from object, the Python root object class, and it uses of course the new MRO algorithm. And it was introduced in Python 2.3 because it has some issues in 2.2. So let's talk about MRO. A brief history about how MRO got into picture. So how it all started. So let me tell you a story. It all started in 2002. So there was a guy named as Samuel Pedrani. So he was quite interested in MRO stuff. So he was just experimenting with MRO, and he was trying to wrap his head around MRO. So here's a mail from him. So I'm just showing a snippet of it. I will show the link if you want to read more. So he was trying to wrap his head around the MRO computation in Python 2.2. And there was long discussion regarding this, that what happens in Python MRO in 2.2. So it was kind of confusing. It was not consistent. So this was Guido's reply after the thorough discussion. So Guido looked at the problem, and he understood the problem that the current MRO in Python 2.2 is not good. It's not consistent. It does not give proper results. So he just agreed that Samuel Pedrani proposed that the old MRO in 2.3 should be replaced by a new algorithm. So the new algorithm is called as C3 algorithm. So it's called as C3 method resolution order. And Samuel proposed to implement this algorithm in Python, the next version of Python. And after the thorough discussion, it went that they are going to implement this. So the conclusion was the Python 2.2, the method resolution order is not monotonic. So I've used the word monotonic here, and if you're wondering what it is, so here what it is. So MRO of a subclass is an extension without reordering of the MROs of the superclass. All right. So here is an example. So we have a couple of classes, class A and class B. So these are kind of the base classes, and we have two more classes, the class C and class D, and which are inheriting from A and B respectively. So class C is inheriting from A and B in the order A, B. So when you define class C, you will write class C, in bracket you will write A comma B. And similarly, when you define method class D, you will write class D B comma A. So that's the order in which it inherits A and B. So the MRO of C, that is the method resolution order of C, would be C, A, B. So what this order means is, if I have a method defined in C and I'm calling that method, so it will first try to look for that method in class C itself. So if it is not found, then it will look for that method in class A, and if it's still not found, it will look for that method in class B. All right, this is the order in C, the MRO order in C, and similarly the order in D is DBA. Now we have a bad class called as X, and it tries to subclass A and B, C and D, and so it inherits from C and D. So what do you think the MRO would be in X? What would be the order of A and B in X? So it's quite difficult to tell that in the parent classes the order is A, B in one and B in other. So getting a consistent order here in X doesn't make sense actually. So this order should not exist in the first place. So you cannot decide it right now. So it's not monotonic. This is an example of what is not monotonic, and apart from everything else is monotonic. So MRO in Python 3. So as I told you that new classes were implemented in Python 2.3. So after Python 2.3, so Python 2 has a peculiar thing called as old and new classes both are present in the same language. So if you, in Python 2, if you define a class and you do not inherit it from the object, it will be old classes. And if you explicitly mention that it is the first parent is object, then it will be new classes. But in Python 3, whatever way you write, it will implicitly inherit from the object. So it uses new MRO, of course, because after the new classes, the new MRO was implemented. So let's first get back to the old algorithm, the old MRO, which is still used in Python 2.2, and of course Python 2 if you use old style classes. So I have defined a small acronym for it, so just to remember. So it's DLR. So it's basically deep first from left to right. So this algorithm is pretty easy to bring out. It's not very tough, and you can easily understand this algorithm. So let's take an example. So we have few classes here: class A, B, C, and D, and you can see D inherits from B, comma C in the order B and C, and C inherits from A, and B inherits from A. So what we now do is we are calling a method whoami in D, and we are trying to find the method resolution order for this, and we are calling method whoami in D. So in this case, the method exists in D. So if it exists in D, it will first look in D. So let's assume that this whoami does not exist in class D. So it will not find in D. So the next method it will look for is B. So this B actually. So this is the left to right and D first. So it will go in B. So the next method we'll look for is in B, and we'll again go deep. So it inherits from A, and next method it will look for is in A, and this is the order. And after we are done with this deep, now we'll move from the left to right, and that is C. So the next class it will look for that method is C, and now again we can go deep into it. So when we go to class C, we have A defined in it. So it will again go to A, and that's all. So you can see that it is repeating here. So A is coming twice. So that doesn't make sense, because when it has already looked in A and it has not found in A. So if again it will go in A, it will not found. So there's no point in writing that. So we'll simply remove the duplicates from the end. And the order of MRO is D, B, A, C. So this is basically summary how it happens here. So it will obviously look in D first and not found, look in B, again not found, then B's first parent A, and so on. So this is basically a brief summary of what has happened right now. So now it's come the turn of C3 algorithm. So C3 algorithm is, since it's consistent, so good things doesn't come free. So it's a bit difficult to understand. So because it has not much to do with Python, it has more to do with maths. So there's an algorithm for this. So I'll explain you that algorithm, so how it works. So if I say C3 algorithm or finding MRO of a class, so this is synonym for that. So when we are finding the MRO of a class, so it's basically linearization of a class. So I'll be using both these terms interchangeably. So before understanding that algorithm, I'll just explain some notations which I will using that you shall be using in that algorithm. So for example, if we have a list of classes, the first class is called as the head of the class, and the rest all of them are called the tail. So this is the first notation. And if I say the sum of classes, so this is the notation for that. Just append the class at the top. So what is the linearization of class C? So it's basically a list of ancestors of class C, including the class itself, ordered from the nearest ancestor to the farthest, and that's the order of precedence and the linearization of C. So obviously it's also called as MRO of C. So here is the formula definition for that. So linearization of class C is the sum of C plus the merge of the linearization of parents of C and the list of parents of C. So don't get lost, I'll just show you the formula here, it's much easier to look. So you can see the linearization of class C is basically C plus the merge of the linearization of the parents of C, that is this, and the list of parents of C. So now we have defined a term merge here. So what is it? So finding merge. So well, I'll explain how to find merge here. So and more things will be more clear when I show an example. So just showing the formal definition of what is merge. So basically, first take the head of the first list, the head of the first list, the first class in the list, and if that head is not present in the tail of any other list, then add it to the linearization of C and remove it from the list in the merge. Remove all of its occurrences in the list. All right. So otherwise, go to the head of another list. So when we saw the merge, we have lists in that. So we have a lot of lists in that, 2 or 3, let's say. So we'll go for the first list and we'll look at the head of the first list, and we'll see if that class exists in the tail of any other list. If it exists, then go to the next list. Otherwise, just remove it from the put it into the linearization of the C of the class. And you need to repeat the operation until all classes are removed, and it's impossible to find good heads. The heads we are finding above are called good heads. So let's take an example to understand what exactly this algorithm means. So we have an example here. So we have some classes defined, F, E, D, C, B, A, and so O is, I'm using a shorthand for object, that is O, and A is inheriting from B and C and so on. So this is the diagram of that. B inheriting from D and E, and A inheriting from B and C. So let's find the linearization of O. So O is the object basically. So O is not inheriting from anything. So it's the base thing in MRO. So if I'll find the linearization of O, that is which class it will look for to find the method in that order. So it will look for the O itself. So let's find the linearization of D. So if I'm searching for a method and calling a method on D, so it will look for the method in D first, and then it will go to O. It's pretty simple. So same for E and same for F. So these are the simple cases, and complex things come when we go deeper into the multi-inheritance. So let's take another non-trivial example. So we are finding the linearization of class B here. So linearization of class B is equal to class B plus the merge of linearization of parents of B, that is D and E, and the list of parents of B, that is D, E. All right. So D is basically list of classes, and linearization of E will also be a list of classes, and linearization of D is also a list of classes. So we have already found the linearization of class D, and the bottom you can see here it is. Linearization of class D is here, and linearization of class E is also here. So we have found these in the previous step. So we'll just replace these things here. So it comes out to be this. So I explained you how to find a merge thing. So we'll use that algorithm to find the merge. So that makes this simpler and have the lineations in our hand. So basically, we'll start with the first element in the first list, that is D, and we'll see if the head of the first list exists in the tail of any of the other list. So the other list we have is EO and DE. So D does not exist in the tail of any other list. So here you can see D is in the head. I'm only talking if this D exists in the tail of any other list. So it does not exist in the tail of any of the other list. So we can safely take this out from the merge, and we can put into the lineation of class B. So the order now becomes B, D plus the merge of the remaining. So as I told you earlier, when we are removing something from the merge, so we are removing all of its instances. So we have removed both the instances of D. So now we are left with a simpler problem here. And so next we'll look for O. So O is the head of the first list, and that's the only element in the class. We'll see if it exists in the tail of any other list, and it does in the tail of the second list, that is EO. So what we can do it here is, so we cannot remove O here. So what we'll do is, now we'll move forward with the next list. So the next list is EO. So we'll start with EO. So the head of this list is E basically, and we'll look if E exists in the tail of any other list. So it does not actually. So you might be wondering, E is here. So A is the head itself, there is no tail here. So E does not exist in the tail of any of the other lists. So now you can safely remove E from the merge function. So the computation becomes now this. There's no tail here, remember. So it becomes VDE. So again, going by the same process, will the lineation of find the merge of O and O. So O is basically at as the head of the first list, and that's the only head. And if we'll try to find the O in the tail of another list, and it doesn't actually. So there is no tail in the second list itself. So you can safely remove O from this merge, and the lineation becomes this. So it's basically, so what it means is basically lineation of B is basically B, D, E, O. So what it means exactly is, if you're looking for a function, if you call that function the class object of class B, and so this is the order it will look for the method. So it will look for B in obviously first. Then if it is not found in B, it will look for the method in D, and then in E. If not found, then O. So O is basically the object. It will not look for that. So this is the order in the. So to make things clear, let's have a look at another example. So we'll complete this whole tree. So finding the lineation of C here. So the lineation of C would be C plus the merge of the lineation of parents of C. That is, parents are basically D and F, and the list of parents, that is DF. And so going by the same step, so we have already found LD, the lineation of D, and the lineation of F. So we can simply plug in those values here. So LD is basically DO, and LF is basically FO, and DF is written as it is. So now we'll go by the same process, and we'll start with the first list, that is DO. The head of the first list is D. So we'll look if it exists in the tail of any other list, that is FO and DF. So D does not exist in the tail of any other list. Remember, the third list, D exists at the head, not the tail. So it is not considered. So basically, D does not exist in the tail of any other list. So you can safely remove D from this merge function. So the lineation of C becomes this. So now we have O, FO, and F. So we'll go with O. So does O exist in the list tail of any other list? So it does actually. So look at the second list, it is FO, and O exists in the tail of second list. So you cannot remove O. So we'll go to the next thing, that is FO. So F is at the head of the second list, and you look if F exists in the tail of any other list. It doesn't actually, because in the last element is F, that is the head itself. So it is not in the tail. So you can again safely remove F. So we have left with O as previously. We are left with O. So the lineation will become C, D, F, and obviously, so O can safely come out of this now. So the order of lineation would be C, D, F, O. So let's have a look at the final example. So to complete that tree. So now we are finding the lineation of A. So lineation of A would be A plus the merge of lineation of its parents, that is B and C, and the lineation of B and C we already found out, that is B, D, E, O, and you can look at the bottom to see the results, and the list of parents is BC. So again we'll see if B exists in the tail of any other, it doesn't, so we'll remove B from it. Again we'll look for D, D exists in the tail in the second list, so we cannot remove D. We'll look for C, now C doesn't, so you can remove C here. So again starting D, D does not exist in the tail of any other list, so you can remove D here. So now we are left with U and FO, so we'll start with E. E is the head of the first list, so E does not exist in the tail of any of the other list, so you can safely remove E. And now we are left with O, so O exists in the tail of the first list, as we have seen earlier, it always exists in the tail of any other list, so you cannot remove O. So we'll go with the next list, that is FO. So F is basically does not exist in the tail of any other list, that is O itself, so you can safely remove F here. So the lineation becomes A, B, C, D, E, F, and we are left with O as always. So now you can clearly remove O as well. So this is the method resolution order for the class A, and this is according to the new algorithm, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, O. So these are the references I use. So if you want to learn more about this, you can go to these links. And one more thing I'd like to show, for example, I showed you that it's not monotonic, so let's get back to that example again. So let's try to do it in the Python shell. Is it visible? I think it is. Okay, let's write a script so that we can run in Python 2 and 3 as well. Now let's create a class C which inherits from A and B in the order A and B. Now define another class D which inherits A and B in the order BA. So now let's define another class, that is X, which inherits from CD. So this is C and D. So it's the same tree which we have made here. So C inherits from A and B in the order 1, 2, A and B, and D inherits from A and B in the order BA, and X is the subclass for CD, inheriting from C and D. So let's see how it works in Python 2 and 3. So let me add a test as well. So if it's successful, then print success. So let's run it with Python 2 first of all. So it gives success. So we saw that this order is actually not monotonic. So this order doesn't make sense on the first place. But still Python 2, since we are using old classes in Python 2, remember? Old classes, alright. So since you are using old classes, so it doesn't have the new MRO, so it uses the old MRO. So it still creates an MRO which does not make sense, and it creates this order which it should not. So let's try it with Python 3. So it will not create actually. So cannot create a consistent method resolution order for basis A because the order doesn't make sense. So it should not create at the first place. So Python 3 is doing a good job here. So I would suggest everyone to use Python 3. So how many of you are using Python 3 and 2? How many Python 3? Okay, quite a good. And Python 2, rest all? Okay, so that's a bad number actually. I would suggest you to use Python 3. Because if you don't use Python 3, you'll have these things, which is actually not correct. And also, if you use new style classes in Python 2, so obviously it is possible to use new style classes in Python 2 as well. So Python 2 is good sometimes with the help of Python 3. So let me show you one more thing. So Python also has a function called as MRO. So if you have not heard of it, let's see what it is. We are creating the same thing here, and E will not create X here because it will give an error. So for example, if you want to see what's the order of MRO in D and C, so let's make it more complex. So let's create another E which inherits from D, A, B, oops. Okay, it does not. So okay, let's see if how you can get the MRO of a class. So you have few classes defined here, that is A, B, C, D, and you want to know the order. So because whenever you want to know the order, you are not going to study this algorithm here, the MRO one. So you want a function to tell that. So that function is implemented obviously in Python 3. So you have class A, and you want to check the MRO. So you'll simply call the MRO here. So this is the order of MRO here. You can do similar things with other classes as well. So this is the MRO of C. So obviously this function is not available if you use Python 2. So you should, one more reason to use Python 3. So Kamesa Hapnida, thank you. So questions?
질문 있으신 분은 요 가운데 마이크에 서서 질문해 주시면 됩니다.
My name is How do you find this bug at the first time?
Sorry?
How do you find this bug, MRO bug, at the first time?
MRO for the first time means?
How could you find the bug which is the non-decidable calculation of the MRO Python 2 in Python 2, and you fixed it, right?
Sorry, how we calculated MRO in Python 2?
Yeah, how could you find the first MRO have that kind of not monotonic behaviors?
So are you asking that how do we find MRO in Python 2?
I think you guys trying to fix the not monotonic behavior in Python 2, right?
Yeah.
Then you have to first, you have to know what you have to know before the fixing that the Python 2 have not monotonic behaviors.
Yeah.
And how could you know that kind of behaviors in the Python 2?
So how could we develop that behavior in Python 2?
Yes.
So basically the example I showed here is this one. So one second. So do you mean this? Basically this example, as I told you, this doesn't make sense actually. So because monotonic, by definition, it means that there should be consistent ordering. So subclasses should extend that, not change the order. So that's a very crucial example of it's not monotonic Python 2. So the old algorithm that the DLR we were using, it's actually a naive algorithm. So even the Samuel Padroni pointed out that's in the Python mailing list, and that's why that algorithm was those examples were considered while forming the argument for implementing a new MRO. So that's why Guido agreed on this fact and formed the new algorithm, that is C3 linearization algorithm. And C3 is basically, it has nothing to do with Python actually. It's a mathematical algorithm, and it has its own proof of concept. If you want to interested, you can have a look at the research paper, which gives the proof of concept that it gives inconsistent ordering. Did I answer your question?
In some projects, using multiple inheritance, how do you avoid that kind of resolution conflict?
So how can you avoid that kind of ordering? So the first thing is basically the first feature should be provided by language itself, that it does not let you create some absurd order. And second order, it's always better to use linear inheritance.
Slowly.
Okay, sorry. So basically, the first thing which should be available as a facility is that the language should not let you create such orders, because if you are creating it on the first place by the language itself, so you are doing the mistake by the language itself. So that's the fault of language. So that's why the first language needs to be fixed, then only you can fix your own order. That's why the MRO3 works better than 2, because the language shows you an error, that it shows that this is not correct and you should not do it, and basically errors should not pass silently. And if the errors are passing silently, you are doing the wrong thing in the first place by the language itself. So that's one of the reasons, that's how you can avoid things like that. Yep.
Beauty of Python is that you can change anything on runtime, right?
Sorry?
Have you tried to change the class inheritances during the runtime?
During runtime. So probably you mean by creating meta classes.
Something like that.
I have yet not tried this, but I think the behavior should be same, I guess.
So you assume that the same rules apply when you try to change the inheritance rules in the runtime?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I think so. Because when you inherit through, when you create a meta class, I think that should also be the MRO of the default thing. So I don't think there should be another rule for when you do it in the runtime through meta classes or something. Sure. Thank you.